Michael Bisping returning to action on November 4th, Madison Square Garden, New York City against Georges St-Pierre. It's finally happening. Let's go to the phone lines and welcome in Michael Bisping. Michael, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. But to be honest, I think we should go back to talking baseball with St-Pierre for a while because, I mean, that is why everybody tunes in, to hear you talk about baseball and ask questions about baseball. I mean, I've only given up my morning, in between training and doing my podcast. I have a very short window, but you've got to get your baseball questions in, Ariel. 100%, I fully understand.
Michael, you're a host now. You know about the art of trying to make your guests comfortable and try to talk to them about something that they're interested in. Stipe is sometimes a hard nut to crack, so I had to go that route. With you, I don't have to do that, but with him, sometimes you got to do that. You respect that, right?
Pardon the pun, you had to give him the softball.
Well done. That was a perfect pun.
I start my podcast, Believe You Me, which is available everywhere at 12:30, and I'm driving home from training. As you said, I have a big fight with George coming up, Madison Square Garden, and just finished a great training session. Officially in official training camp, if you will. Now
right.
I've been training for a bit, but now officially started. What they would describe as a quote unquote camp. 2 a day, strenuous diet, all that good stuff. So yeah, that has begun, and so far so good. Feeling great.
Okay, so we have a lot to talk about. Let me just ask you about Luke Rockhold on Saturday. Did you watch the fight?
Of course.
What did you make of his performance?
Listen, ultimately, congratulations to Luke. He won the fight. He got a stoppage in the second round. I thought he looked very sloppy, if I'm honest. He has a problem with people that can box, people that get inside. He landed some good shots, the other guy, David Branch. And if he had a bit more pop, he could have taken Luke out of there. So, yes, congratulations, job well done. He got the finish in the second round. But, he needs to be careful because, there's a lot that could have been improved upon. Let's say that. But as I say, well done. Good performance.
So you weren't all that impressed?
Were you?
Clearly, he lost the first round. He did what he had to do in the second. I'd give him a B considering the layoff. Is that fair?
Yeah, well, B minus.
Okay.
B.
More importantly, what did you think of the post-fight interview?
Well, Jesus Christ, the guy needs to really stop talking. He doesn't do himself any favors whatsoever, God bless him. The guy can't string a sentence together. Lots of stuttering, lots of interruptions, lots of thinking. Saying that George isn't going to make it to the octagon and all this type of stuff. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but you'll know better than me, Ariel. When's the last time George has ever pulled out of a fight? I mean, now that it's official and we're doing press and we're both training, I don't see George pulling out of this fight at all. I mean, has he got a history of doing that? Not to my knowledge.
No, he doesn't. He actually doesn't. I mean, it has been a long time since he fought, but he doesn't have an history.
I noticed that Luke didn't say my name either. He couldn't bring himself to do it. He talked lots of shit and he implied my name many, many times, but he never actually went ahead and said it, which I thought was very cute. But listen, good for him. He's back on track. Obviously, he wants to get a rematch. He wants to get his belt back, and that's what he should want to do. God bless him. I mean, we're all fighters. We all want to be champion. So he's doing the right thing. I can't fault him for anything he said, really. He's trying to make noise. He's trying to get a title fight again. Ultimately, he chose to take 15 months off. He went away from the sport for a little bit, and he's back, and good for him.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. I said this to Daniel Cormier after. I felt like it was somewhat of a misstep to target George. He should be targeting you. The money fight that he wants is Luke versus you, not trying to get George out of the equation. So I thought that he needed to kind of attack you, so to speak, on the mic as opposed to attacking George. You get what I'm saying? Yeah,
no, I do. It was very curious, but he's just trying to say George isn't going to turn up, and when he doesn't, he'll take the place at Madison Square Garden. But as we just discussed, George is a professional, and if he makes a deal, I expect George to be there, and I would bet my life on George turning up. So if that's what Luke is hoping for, then he's wasting his time and energy there.
So you did a media tour with George last week in New York City. In fact, you were just blocks away from our studio, but unfortunately, little old us couldn't get any of either George's time or your time, but that's okay. We get you on the phone. We don't even get you on Skype anymore, for God's sakes. Now we have to get you on phone. Soon enough, you'll be like some of the other champions.
I would love to Skype you, except whilst, I drive a very nice car, I have a nice Range Rover, a good British Classic, and whilst it have all modern conveniences, it doesn't have built-in Skype. So I apologize.
No problem.
I'm breaking laws for you right now, Ariel. I turned off the hands-free function so you have a better quality of sound. And if I get pulled off the police, I will forward my fine directly to you. But
no problem.
I'm trying my best. As I said last week, George and myself, we had a media tour.
Yes. How was it?
Listen, I don't know why, but you weren't on the list. I don't know why that wasn't.
Oh, now you're just
buddy, not me.
Now you're just sticking it to me. All right, fine. That's fine. I mean, I'm sure so many people watched you guys on Fox 5, and those people are such big MMA fans. They're all going to be buying tickets to Saturday, November 4th. But you did go.
No, you're absolutely right. But in the defense of whoever does that, I guess we're trying to target people that aren't MMA fans. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to get new people to buy the pay-per-view. Well, good luck with that. Okay. Well, let's bury our head in the sand to do the MMA Hour and fucking Sirius XM Rush, and that's it.
No. Actually, that would be that'd be even a bigger waste of time. No one listens to that channel. Probably go to Fox 5. But I digress, Mike. I digress. Let me ask you about just being around George. What was it like? I mean, was it contentious? Did you have words with him? Did you have any moments with him? What was it like?
No, so listen, I like George, but we're going to fight. And so I always have a little fun. So listen, I got respect for George. He might not think that, but we were in a TV studio together. And I'm playful, so I'm trying to hype the fight, but I'm not trying to be a total dick at the same time. And I'm trying to have a little fun. And we're sitting at the TV studio, and I'm just busting his balls. I'm just acting like a big brother does. I'm just trying to bust his balls a little bit. But it was all just playful stuff. By the way, if I lose you for a second, I'm just pulling up at my house in a minute, and we have a couple of spotty patches. So if I lose you, it'll only be for a second. I'll come back. But yeah, so I was having a bit of fun with George, and George was sat there saying, Makal is an angry man. He's a very angry man. Look at this guy. And I'm like, George, what are you talking about? I'm sitting there with a big smile on my face. You're the one sitting there, and his hands were actually shaking. I said, you're the one shaking, George. You're saying that I'm the angry one, but that doesn't stack up at all. Maybe he was nervous because he's not as used to TV work as I am. But his hands were shaking, and had a little bit of fun.
And then
he looks bigger.
He does.
Looks bigger. He's been certainly lifting a lot of weight by the looks of it. But for all the weights he can lift, and as big as George can possibly get, he'll still be smaller than guys that have fallen.
Does he look bigger than he did back in March?
Bigger than when?
Than when you saw him in March, when you guys did the face-off at the press conference. Yeah,
he does. Yeah, that's why I meant that. I was only joking. That's why I said that remark about don't get caught doing steroids, George. Because he did look. This isn't a bodybuilding contest. Of course, he probably hasn't been bodybuilding. He's probably been doing all the good stuff that he needs to do: squats, deadlifts, backflips, get to gymnastics. Fortunately, once again, he's not a trapeze artist. He's not trying to get a job at the Chinese traveling circus. We're going to fight, so you can do all the fucking backflips if you want. I'll see you in the octagon, and I'll meet your backflip with a straight right.
Do you think that he is on steroids right now? Do you think that he will be on steroids going into the fight?
No. I'm only having a bit of fun. I don't think he's on steroids whatsoever.
Okay. Oh, we lost you there.
Yeah, sorry, but I'm just walking into the house right now, and then the signal should be fine.
Okay. Yeah, now it's getting better.
Crappy. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Oh, now I lost you again.
Yeah, but what about now?
Yeah, now it's good.
Too busy talking about baseball, you see. That's what I told you at the start. I said, if you didn't ask about baseball, we would have been good. But no, George is a hard martial artist, and I have a lot of respect for him. will I have a bit of fun with him leading up to the fight? Yeah, of course I will.
I was saying throughout the whole entire thing that you would end up fighting George in November, even when Dana White said that the ship has sailed, it's over, it's over, it's over. Did you feel the same way? Like, were you surprised ultimately when you got this fight, or did you believe the whole time that you would get it in the end?
Yeah, well, it was kind of, it was kind of a roller coaster there, because this is now actually the third time that we've been matched up. Obviously, once I was on a plane to Dubai, he offered me the fight. I thought, great, awesome. Then we had, Dana offered it again. And then some time passed, and, they called off the fight. And then every time I'd speak to him, I'd be like doing talks in Vegas or whatever, and stuff. And I'd say, and he said, Mike, that isn't happening. Get out. And everyone, don't give up on him. I said, I'm not bothered, but Dana said the fight isn't happening. It's happening. And then, of course, it is happening.
Bizarre. It's bizarre how that works.
It is bizarre. And everybody was saying congrats. I'm like, congrats. The second time.
Mike, can we reestablish the line, because it's cutting out a lot? Can we just call you right back in a second?
Yeah,
okay, we're gonna call him right back, because it's hard to hear, Mike, and we'll keep him on for just a couple more minutes, and then we'll get to our next guest, who is standing by in the green room, going to be joined in a matter of moments by the great Ally Quinta. But wanted to finish up with Michael Bisping here. Get him on the phone, get him on the horn. He, of course, hosts a podcast called Believe You Me. It's very entertaining with Luis J. Gomez. You can get it on iTunes. You can get it on SoundCloud. You can get it on a bunch of different, the usual outlets where you get your podcasts. Hello. He's back. Michael, I was just plugging your podcast.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah. Is that better?
Yeah, that's much better. You were saying,
okay, great.
You were saying that people were saying to you, congratulations, and then we kind of lost you.
Yeah, no, people were saying congratulations. And as I say, it was kind of like, okay, thanks, but I've been here 3 times. You know what I mean? And I'm just hungry to fight, regardless of whether it was George. I mean, you got to remember, because I know there's a lot of people out there that like to talk shit and say that, he's dodging the number 1 contender and all this. Prior to Robert Whittaker and Yoel Romero fighting, I had a quick meeting with Dana White in the back room of the MGM or wherever the T-Mobile Arena, and I agreed to coach the Ultimate Fighter against whoever won that fight. So in essence, I accepted a fight with Yoel, and I accepted a fight with Robert Whittaker. I just want to throw that out there for all those people that like to talk smack. And it was Robert Whittaker that said he needed some time and didn't want to fight. Obviously, a fight with Yoel doesn't make sense because Yoel just lost. But it's funny how things happen, because that actually gave the GSP thing an ability to happen, because I was supposed to start coaching. That fight happened on the Saturday. We were supposed to start coaching the Ultimate Fighter on the Tuesday. So if Whittaker hadn't turned it down, this fight never would have happened.
Wow. And so it got a little weird there with you and Yoel with the flags and all that. Do you regret any of that?
Listen, if I offended anybody, I apologize. Here's the thing. I was going down to, here's the thing. Dana and everybody said, oh, you're going to come into the cage and we want you to challenge whoever wins the fight. And I'll be honest, I did not want to do it. I didn't want to do it because you're just going to come across as a dick. Because at the end of the day, you're going to walk in there with a belt like you think you're hot shit. And you're going to walk in and you've got to do something. I guess you can't just walk in and stand there and show. And whichever way it happens, you're going to look like a bit of an ass. And I didn't want to do it. I really didn't. But they insisted on it, and I was kind of cringing going down. And I'd made a joke, because for some reason there was these tiny little flags. I don't know where they came from, these tiny little Cuban flags. And I made a joke about ripping one up. And it was just a pure joke. And then one of the girls from Fox actually brought it down and handed it to me when I was cage side. And I was like, oh, shit, here we go. And then he was gesturing. Yoel was gesturing at me, sticking his tongue out and talking all kinds of shit. And I was like, oh, you know what, screw you. I just happened to have it in my hand. So, but hey, listen, he went and burned the British flag, danced on it, him and all his homies down in Cuba. So, listen, let's not, let's get carried away.
Okay, so it's kind of like you're even now, tit for tat.
No, whatever. I couldn't care less. Yoel doesn't even enter my mind. I don't think about him, honestly. As far as I'm concerned, he doesn't exist.
Wow. Okay. So, but this is not.
Well,
this is not.
You want me to fall asleep every night thinking about him and going, "Ooh, Yoel Romero, the big sexy hunk of a man that he is." Or do you want me to? I couldn't care less about Yoel Romero. Yoel Romero is at the back of the line. He lost the fight, like I did. I lost number one contender matchups, and when I lost them, I went to the back of the line and I had to build myself back up again. That's where right. Yoel is right now.
Okay, fair enough. Do you feel like this is the culmination of all the years, all the blood, sweat, and tears, the injuries, the highs, the lows, the great moments, the bad moments, the stumbles, the moments of triumph? This is it. Madison Square Garden, Georges St-Pierre. Does it feel like it's all culminating for you on November 4th? Do you view it that way?
Yeah, I kind of do, to be honest. Of course, it's an iconic arena. It's a big fight. It's Georges St-Pierre. Everybody knows who Georges St-Pierre is, There's not many people that have crossed over from the MMA fan base into the mainstream. And George is, I'd say he's there, Maybe not as much as, say, a Conor or a Ronda, but he's not far behind them. So it's a big fight. And George brings a lot to the table. He's a tough challenge. And, as I said, big fight. I think this is going to be the biggest MMA fight of the year. There's 3 title fights on the event, so it's a huge event. And, I think the career I've had, the years I've been in the UFC, the injuries I've had, the ups, the downs, getting close to title fights and all this. And there's a possibility this might be my last ever fight. I don't know if I'll fight again after this. So, what a way to go out if it is. Wow.
Even if you win.
Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what the future holds. There's a possibility. Yeah, this may be my last fight. So if everyone wants to see Michael Bisping get knocked out, this is your last chance to do it, guys.
Why are you on the fence? Even if you win, why are you considering this being your last fight?
Well, I've done it for so long. I've done it for so long now, and there's other things to do in life. I still love this. Don't get me wrong, but you can't do it forever. You can't do it forever. And George should have stayed retired. George should have retired as a champion. I'm going to beat George, and I'll retire as a champion. Maybe. I haven't made my mind up on that yet. It depends. If there's enough money involved, maybe I'll stick around. But as of right now, I don't know. My family wants me to retire. My wife wants me to retire. There's a lot of people saying, Mike, you should retire, and my manager says it, so everyone's in my ear saying, Mike, you should retire as champion. I've earned some money along the way. I've had a great career. I've represented my country. I've achieved more through mixed martial arts than what I ever would have dreamed of, but you can't keep going forever. You've got to know when the time is right. And I'm not saying the time is right, but I am contemplating it. We'll see.
Well, so all your family, your inner circle is trying to push you to retire after this fight.
Pretty much, yeah.
Wow, and is that a hard thing to hear, or are you leaning towards that as well?
No, not at all. They're saying it for my best interest. They're saying, Michael, listen, I've got a lot of things going on outside the octagon. I'm very lucky in that regard, and I love fighting. I'll fight till the day I'm 50 years old. But if you want to truly have a legacy, I say win the belt, defend it a few times, and then retire as champion. There's no better way to go out than that. That's what I'm saying. George should have done that. George has made a mistake. George has been lulled back to the limelight. Of course, money's good. Everybody wants to earn money as well, so I'm sure that's a factor. But George is coming back, and but never mind that. It may or may not be my last fight. Let's focus on George. The problem with George is this is where he's messed up. George has fallen into the trap that many people fall into. And that trap is he thinks he can beat me. A lot of people look at me on TV and they go, I can beat that guy. Look at the way he fights and this and that. But then when you get in there with me, it's a different thing. See, George paints himself as this martial artist, which he is. But the story that's surrounding George is that, oh, this guy is coming out of retirement after 4 years and he's going to step up a weight class and fight the champion. Man, this guy's amazing. He's got balls bigger than Canada. But that ain't true. He's doing this because he thinks he can beat me. We trained together a long, long time ago, and he out-wrestled me then. You know, I didn't know a double leg from a Big Mac. You know what I mean? So he thought he could, he still thinks he can out-wrestle me, take me down, and beat me. He didn't want to fight Anderson Silva when he was a champion. He didn't want to fight Luke Rockhold when he was a champion. You know, so he's looking at me as easy pickings. That's why he's focused on fighting me so much. And for all this talk, I said George is a fraud. And Canada, who look at him as their champion, Canada's champion is a fucking fraud.
Whoa. Please keep Canada out of this, all right? Canada did nothing to you.
Well, he's your big star, right? Wayne Gretzky's gone. It's Georges St-Pierre, and Georges St-Pierre is a fraud.
Oh, man. Now you've turned this into an international incident. The Commonwealth is supposed to stick together, Michael. You're breaking everything up. First, you're leaving.
Yeah, but this is made the best man win.
Fair enough. Well, you totally buried the lead, Mike. I just have to ask you this. If we were down to like scale of 1 to 10, like are you close? Would you say you're at a 6 that this is your last fight, or a 7? Where would you put it right now?
I don't know. It's a 50-50.
Okay, fair enough.
It may or may not be. But not because, when you hear Dana say, when people start talking about retirement, that means they're done. That doesn't mean that at all. I'm just trying to think smartly here, because you can't do it forever. You really can't. And you got to know when to walk away.
Do injuries play a part?
Pardon me?
Are injuries playing a factor in this decision?
No, not really. Well, no, not really. Not really. I mean, next year I've got 3 acting projects lined up that are all pretty big. 3 big movies and a Netflix series. I've got things going on outside of the octagon, and I've got money that I can earn outside of the octagon. And ultimately, we do this for the money. You're doing this right now because you want to earn money. I fight in the UFC because I want to earn money. And if I can earn money outside of the octagon, that's just as good, that I don't have to risk my health for, then it makes sense. And I can retire as a champion and parlay that into an active, successful career outside of the octagon. You know what I'm saying? And retiring as champion helps that. Retiring after you've strung up a ton of losses and you once were a champion and then you get 7 shares of shit knocked out of you consistently, but you're still making a payday. I've done myself an injustice there.
Okay, last thing. Will you make this decision before the fight? Will you know walking in that this is your last fight or not your last fight, or will you only make that decision after the fight?
I don't know. My wife wanted me to retire after the Rockhold fight. Win or lose.
Which one? The second?
No, the first. Yeah, the second one, when I fought for the belt, yeah.
Okay.
She wanted me to retire then. She wanted me to retire. I said, no way. I said, if I lose, maybe I will. I said, but if I win the belt, I said, get out of it. I'm not going to retire at the moment I win the belt. You already got that mind. So that's in there for a while. It's in there for a while, So we'll see. We'll see. I'm still enjoying it. I've just had a great training session with Jason Perillo. Sparred 5-5 this morning. Ran this morning. I'm going to go train tonight. The fire's still there. I'm still as hungry as ever. I still love this sport. And I'm going to put a beating on GSP like he's ever experienced. I'm going to let GSP... I'm going to remind him why he retired. Johnny Hendricks beat him so bad he thought he was fucking abducted by aliens. That's why George retired. We know this. You know this. Everybody knows this. And he's going to walk in there and come fight now. It's easy. It's easy me now talking to you, and it's easy for George talking to you or doing TV, doing the countdown, doing all this. But you can't lie to yourself. And you can. But the problem is you can lie to yourself at this point, but the closer the fight gets, that's when it keeps you up at night. And then when he's led there, and he's in the locker room, and it's just before he goes out, and there's going to be 20,000 people at Madison Square Garden, and he's going to think, shit, I know why I retired. It's because of this feeling right here, this feeling of doubt, this scaredness that we all get, the fright, and he's going to walk out there, and then the lights are going to be on him. He hasn't fought in 4 years. He's going to think, shit, what the fuck am I doing here? Why did I say yes to this again? Because he doesn't need the money, and he's coming up a weight class against bigger guys a bigger guy that's used to fighting bigger guys, that used to fighting guys that can hit way harder than George can hit me. He can't hurt me with anything. And then when I jab him in the face and I punch him again, he's suddenly going to realize, shit, I made a mistake here. I shouldn't have done this. I should have backed out. He should have never came back. And I like George and I respect him a lot. And I'll be the first to congratulate him if he beats me. If George beats me, then God bless him. Good for him. I'll be the first to hold his hand up in the middle of the arena and congratulate him. And when I beat him, I'll be the first to go over and give him a hug and say, listen, fair play, respect. But I'm going to go at him 100%, with everything I've got. And I don't think he's got what it takes to beat me. Simple as that.
You are a treasure, Michael. Thank you so much. Every time I reach out to you to come on the show, I always kind of feel like I'm bothering you, but then I'm always so happy that you say yes because you're so damn good. Thank you for the time. I'm sorry for making you wait. I'm sorry for subjecting you to my baseball talk. That was incredible stuff.
No, it's quite all right. I always like to start the show with busting your balls a little bit.
Okay, I know, but I'm very sensitive, Michael. You have to understand now that I'm, I'm just so sensitive. It's horrible. My skin keeps getting thinner.
Everybody that's listening to the MMA Hour, you have to start downloading and subscribing to the Believe You Me podcast with myself and Luis J. Gomez. If you don't do that, then
you'll never come back on the show.
Never come back on the show. Ariel, it's always a pleasure talking to you, my friend. Good luck with everything. Talk to you soon.
You're the man, Michael. Thank you, and good luck with the podcast. Believe You Me on iTunes. Check it out. I enjoyed it very much. There he is, the UFC middleweight champion himself, Michael Bisping, stopping by. How great was that? Bearing the lead, talking about maybe this is his last fight. This is nuts.